Do you remember a time, EJ Massa, when your web browser was all bookmarks? And when you would launch your web browser, you would visit each bookmark in a different tab, perhaps, and you would sort of just check all your websites. That was the opening ceremony of using the internet. Do you remember this?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you would have to log on.
You'd log on. Yeah.
You'd have to log on. It wasn't in your phone all the time. You just logged on and you'd be like, okay, I'm going to go to homestarrunner.com.
Homestar Runner, Dig, perhaps a news website or two, perhaps cinemassacre.com. And perhaps, at one time or another, that guy with the glasses or channelawesome.com.
Absolutely.
Well, Channel Awesome, the website, and this is not just some website. This is not just any website we're talking about here. This is the website that made an effort to compete with YouTube itself, and kind of did. I mean, not with the totality of YouTube, but there was a time just in case anyone out there somehow doesn't know. Early YouTube didn't really have it figured out. They would truncate videos down to 10 minutes or less, and that was one of their controls for avoiding copyright, for just simply uploading full episodes of Simpsons or something. The quality wasn't all there. You couldn't really upload like a full HD video, I don't think, until maybe 2010, maybe 2009. But you had to have a special account, perhaps. I actually remember when the People versus George Lucas uploaded their trailer, they contacted me. And they said, hey, Frankie, do you know how to upload an HD video to YouTube? They wanted my technical support on that. They certainly didn't have fair use or copyright.
Yeah, they did have copyright, but it was very aggressive.
Yeah.
So if you had clips from movies, you were done.
You can kind of understand historically, YouTube probably, especially when Google acquired them, because there was 2 years there where it was not a Google product.
Yes.
It was going to live or die by its ability to handle copyrighted material. If it couldn't, and it was getting its ass sued off all the time, and it was just this dumping ground for violating copyright. It was going to crash and burn. They had to figure that out. It was for the future of the internet, they had to figure that out. And I think they did. I think they've got a hell of a system now. I know people are upset by it, and unfair things happen all the time. But if you just talk about the system itself, I think it's a pretty good system.
Yeah, it generally works. Yeah, even I have trouble with it. I'm streaming Ocarina of Time recently. Sometimes the songs in the game will get flagged, not from Nintendo, but from people who are covering the songs and singing over them. Somebody was just singing over one of the songs in Ocarina of Time. It was a German person, so it was German words over the song.
Yeah.
And it was flagged for copyright. I'm like, wait, this isn't your copyright.
Vi ska ha party hemma I mitt hus ikväll.
So, especially these reviewers, these comedy reviewers, like James, like Doug Walker, they were looking, James, yes, James got notoriety on YouTube early on. It was his YouTube uploads. It was the James Nintendo Nerd channel that made him blow up. But he pretty quickly went over to GameFAQs and to Screw Attack. And as I recall, a lot of the AVGN episodes, they went up as little trailers on YouTube that then directed you elsewhere.
The reason why Monster Madness was on cinemassacre.com, it was what was it? What was the website? It was Bitly or Bit?
Yeah, yes. Shit, what was it? We're going to figure this out right now. I had it just the other day.
Because the Monster Madness had movie clips and those were aggressively policed. So you would watch Monster Madness on cinemassacre.com and he would host it on it was the same thing Red Letter Media used too. Red Letter Media used it. Blip.tv or something.
Yep, Blip.tv, formerly Blip.tv, was an American media platform for web series content, also offered a dashboard for producers of original web series to distribute and monetize their productions. So Blip was ahead of the game on allowing you to monetize, because again, YouTube really didn't do the YouTube partner, YouTube monetization thing for quite a while. They kind of had to really figure it out first. So between the copyright, between the ability to monetize, and I remember, Blip was really trying to be a major player in the space. I remember they were overly generous with the. I remember Confused Matthew used to upload to Blip. He would also put up a little trailer to his new review, and he'd link you to a Blip video. And I remember I spoke to him on a podcast at the time, and I said, what are you making? per month. And he was like, normally like $500 a month. And I remember being quite shocked by that at the time. I was like, really? You're making $500 just for uploading a few videos? So at some point or another, Channel Awesome decided, what if we just hosted our own damn website and the Nostalgia Critic will go there? It was originally that guy with the glasses. They had bum reviews and all this other stuff. And then they said, well, maybe you could apply to be on our site. Our site's getting pretty good traffic. Maybe we could build a network here. And it kind of, it became a multi-channel network, but its own website with its own kind of like, the idea was that they would promote one another. And of course, this all fell apart with, they did not feel promoted. They did not feel supported. They felt like the company was completely focused on Nostalgia Critic, the thing that was actually successful. You talk to anybody from that era, anybody who loves this kind of film reviewer, YouTube, DIY video creators, they'll all tell you, they're like, I visited Channel Awesome every day. I would watch the Nostalgia Critic, yes, but I also watched Nostalgia Chick. I also watched Angry Joe. I also watched Linkara. I also watch, whoever. There is sometimes really obscure ones no one's ever heard of.
I definitely did. I mostly did Nostalgia Critic, but I would, occasionally click on one or two of the others. But
Todd in the Shadows, Cinema Snob, right? We all know the major players here. It was a big deal at the time. I think it's a really big part of kind of YouTube history. This attempt to go and do it yourself. And obviously it blew up with the change the channel thing. I feel like now people are kind of coming back on that and they'll be like, maybe you all were a little harsh on, Doug Walker here. So I think in the fullness of time, as he's continued to put out content and be undeterred by all the criticism the guy receives, I think people find newfound respect in that. You're like, okay, you're obviously not quitting. We haven't broken your spirit.
I don't think you can. That Daffy Duck motherfucker. He's just gonna keep going.
You can't break that guy. I have a pixel art thing of him right over there from his sprite from the Angry Video Game Nerd game. All this to say, channelawesome.com now simply redirects to a YouTube channel.
Oh, end of an era.
And all we're going to have at the end of all this is Dylan the Night Owl style.
Yeah, I was about to say Dylan the Night Owl has been going through a lot of the big players and that guy with the glasses, including the Nostalgia Critic, Nostalgia Chick. He did a Linkara book review.
Sometimes people like to say that if James Rolfe were to, if he were brand new on the scene today and made videos, I don't think he'd be successful. I'm like, I don't know. I think he probably would. Like don't forget, like those, yeah, a lot of the information he'd be conveying would have already been conveyed by other people, so that some of the novelty would not be there. I don't know. I still think a lot of the jokes and stuff are really memorable. And then I think of Doug, I wonder the same thing. Like, if somebody were brand new and it was Doug's shtick, would it be successful? I'm like, I think it would be. I think sketches aside, which do nothing but poison his content. But again, I respect the hustle. I think he does have a unique comedic voice,
Yeah. I think his energy and persistence, I think he would be successful in some capacity.
It may not be in the millions or something. And I don't think that those reunion specials, the movies aside, but, like the one where they all hung out in a hotel and fake punched each other and stuff. I don't know how well that would do today, but don't you think young autistic teens still kind of go in for that sort of thing?
It's just like watching indie movies or something. It's like you see what's possible with these guys, and I think he's got an energy that's kind of
it's not, you don't find it just anywhere.
It's tough to say with James because he's such a husk of himself right now.
You'd have to separate the current man entirely from.
Yeah, you'd have to separate the current man from, because I don't think Doug Walker has lessened his energy, but
I think in the fullness of time, I think we've learned this guy actually loves doing what he does. I think he would do it for an audience of zero.
Yeah, I think so. I think he brute forced his way onto the scene, basically.
Yeah. I I feel like I did the same. I just wasn't successful at it.
Subscribe to Red Cow Entertainment on Patreon for full episodes every other week.